Deuteronomy 4:33. Has any people heard the voice of God speaking from the midst of the fire, as you have heard it, and survived? I remember the days and nights and early mornings when I struggled with my quest, this goal of learning Russian and engaging a woman in Odessa, who at that point was 10,000 kilometers away. We chatted on Facebook Messenger 3 hours a day, mostly using Google Translator, cutting and pasting, trying to decipher what each other was saying. She knew English better than I understood Russian, of course, an American who had started his studies at that Slavic Language Institute in 2018. Yes, an over 50 traveler, a nomad since my late 20s, pursuing a woman half his age. It was tough, but I felt that it was my time to finally reproduce, get married, get a life. Maybe too late, but who knows? What was I expecting, or perhaps, what can I hope for? I guess the ardor for this girl has burned to embers, and there are flickers and sparks for other pretty girls, since the city is full of them. Beautiful, charming, outstanding form, well-sculpted bodies, different, more delicate bone structure, stunning blue, green, gray eyes. Have you heard the voice? Have you survived? That was a Moody Blues song I really enjoyed. The Moody Blues, Have You Heard? I used to listen to this song on my Walkman while living in Turkey and Spain. It expressed such optimism, such utopian certainty. It felt good, and I had no idea about the challenges that would crush my life. At 27, things seemed to come into focus, and childhood dreams are rectified but not abandoned. There is a yearning for the past, melding or projecting into the future, and this song, recorded in the late 1960s, promoting harmony and cheerful mysticism, it seemed a natural progression. The abrupt changes of the 1990s into this hopeless, grunge, nihilistic, economically trapped era, when the good fortune of the boomers was dissipated before Generation X. I flew past all that, I thought, on the wings of poetry. Wasn't realistic, but what could I do? It was hard to get a job in '89, just out of university, and in fact, by the second half of the '80s, there were a record number of college graduates who were forced into service McJobs, living at parents' home and long-term unemployment. I feel sorry for those who stayed in the USA, or mostly the large urban areas on the coasts. Some got through and eventually succeeded. Others went wastrel. So many alcoholics and drug addicts from the wealthy suburbs. It didn't happen for many of them, that smooth transition into employment, mortgages, reasonably good marriages. Such things the boomers had, and their life was delayed. Or the normal stages of life were chaotic and disrupted. They went off the rails into bad relationships, shitty jobs, debt, promiscuity. So, fast forward to the future, someone who escaped much of that, the nomadic American, and it is I who writes this blog. The hard times in the fire, the trials and tribulations, did they end? No. Slowly, however, I learned to hear God's voice. I'm just beginning, really. It is a calm voice amidst the heat of a million distractions, and you see it, a shining pearl, through the billowing smoke. It leads you by the still waters and has you lie down in green pastures. Lucidity. It is way beyond emotions, physical sensations, the mind, thought, and is detached from our desires, passions, ambitions. It is clear insight. Dreams light up emotions which blind. What the heart longs for is not always God's will, but one's own.